What's going on, everybody? Top 10 Pokemon back. Last week, if you recall, we did a video where we reviewed the craziness that has been the Gold Star Greninja and some of the insane sales we saw of that card. But this week, we'll be doing two cards. The Stained Glass Birds, Moltres, Zapdos, and Articuno Black Star promo, along with the full art Pikachu card from Celebrations in this week's rendition of
Market or Manipulation,
where we try to figure out if these cards are the new market price or if they are being deviously manipulated and nothing more. Folks, thank you so much for tuning in. A very quick shout out to today's awesome video sponsor. It is CantoShark.com, the ultimate Pokemon card marketplace. The inventory right now on CantoShark.com is not only filled with amazing graded Pokemon cards, but also mint condition booster boxes, both vintage and modern. They have so many TCG Grails right now featuring not only Pokemon, but high-end Yu-Gi-Oh! And One Piece cards. And folks, when you buy on CantoShark.com, you have the comfort of knowing that the cards or product you are buying are authentic. A link to the CantoShark website will be in the description of this video. Please go check them out, and thank you so much for your support. Alright folks, let's check out some of the sales of the Stained Glass Birds in PSA 10. In the past week or so, we have seen sales of $495 all the way up to $510 for a PSA 10 copy? Can this be true, or is this really the new market price? Yes, and also no. Before we take a deep dive into these sales, let's take a look at the population of this card. This card currently has a PSA 10 population of 24,229 copies, which is pretty high even in today's standards, and that includes a 60.94% gem mint ratio, meaning that out of all of these promos that have been submitted to PSA, about 60% of them have gotten a PSA 10. However, the most recent sales of this card, and there have been a lot as of recently, have included a sale of $410, $402, $411, another sale for $410, another sale for $410. So $410 has been a very consistent sale price for this card. So if we look at the sale of $510 and we take a look at the bid history, you will see a very similar pattern as we saw with the Gold Star Greninja, where you have a lot of the same bidders with the same feedback, mainly this 57 feedback bidder bidding on these cards. Same thing with the sale for $495. If you take a look at the bid history, yet again, we have the top bidder having a 6 feedback, while the rest of them are that devious 57. Very, very shady to me. And once again, the same thing goes for this sale of about $470. We look at the feedback and we are seeing a lot of the same bidders with either 0 feedback or 57 feedback. Whereas if we look at the sales closer to $400, like this sale of $402, the bid history is not nearly as shady as the ones that are closer to $500. Now, it's also worth noting that you can pick this card up right now as a buy it now for about $390, which makes more sense to me, seeing the buy it now price being at the current auction ending price. It doesn't make much sense for you to buy a card for $500 when you can buy it now for $389, right? And we've also noticed a shift in the sealed product for this card, aka the Hidden Fates Elite Trainer Box. This is where you get this card out of. A few months ago was selling for around $271. Here's another sale for $270. However, this Elite Trainer Box has most recently been selling for around $390. Here's a sale for $400. Another sale for $405. Here we have a lot of 4 of them that sold for $1,670, so just a little bit over $400 per ETB. And if we take a look at the raw card prices, they've been selling anywhere between $91 to $150, probably based on condition, but it's been a very consistent price range for these raw copies. So if you ask me, I do believe that the PSA 10 copy of this card is currently holding as a market value of around $400. I've been seeing so many sales from so many different sellers where this card's been selling for around $400, and the sales we've been seeing for $500 or around there just don't seem quite as legit. So yes, I'm going to say that about $400 for a PSA 10 is, as of right now, the new market price for this card. And it's worth noting that last spring, this card was selling as a PSA 10 for around $40. Okay, so last year around this time, $40 compared to the current market, that is a 900% increase on this magnificent card. And it is a beauty, folks. This is one of the best modern cards of all time, if you ask me. But now let's shift our focus over to a completely different card. This card here is not a promo, but it's rather a set card, and it has a much lower population than the stained glass birds. It's this full art Pikachu from Celebrations in PSA 10. We have seen some monster sales of this card in auction. Here is one for $471. Here's another one very recently that sold for $610. And I did reach out to the seller, and the seller did confirm with me that this was a paid for sale. So, is $610 the new market price for this Pikachu? This Pikachu that you could pull out of like every single Celebrations ETB, it's that common? Let's take a look. So the population of this Pikachu is drastically lower than the legendary birds, having only 447 PSA 10 copies with a 5.46% gem mint ratio, which is really, really low for a modern card. So this is a very, very difficult card to get in a 10, which is funny because a lot of the cards from Celebrations are pretty easy to grade. If you take a look at the Charizard Holo from Celebrations, it has 27,318 PSA 10s with a 62% gem ratio. So this one is way easier to grade than the Pikachu. And it's also worth noting that the lowest buy it now price for this Pikachu is for about $969. That's the lowest on eBay right now if you wanted to pick one up. And much like the legendary birds, this card was selling dirt cheap just back last fall. Here's a sale for $62.40, and it went all the way down to about $41 for a PSA 10 copy in late 2024. So what's my verdict on this card? I do believe that it has a market value as a PSA 10 of $500, simply because it is from Celebrations, so it's a 25th anniversary set, and we have the 30th anniversary coming around the corner. And not only that, but it is an extremely difficult card to get as a PSA 10. Extremely low gem mint rate. So I believe that yes, the legendary birds as a PSA 10 for $400 is a market value for this card, as well as this Pikachu, which is selling for around $600. What do you think of these two cards, folks? This market is absolutely crazy. There are so many instances of cards that were worth 10% as much just months ago compared to what they are today. Let me know what you thought in the comments below. I look forward to hearing from you. That's all I got. I will catch you all in my next one.